Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, welcome to lecture number 13 of Business Economics ECO 400. As per our previous practice, first of all we would like to review the previous lecture for a few minutes, and then we'll go for the next for today's lecture. So what we have learned in the previous lecture, briefly I recap the things for a few minutes. So we learned about oligopoly market structure. That was the last part, or the last form of market structures. And what we have learned that oligopolistic maximizes their profit by forming a cartel and acting like a monopolistic. Like so, as we said that in oligopoly there are few firms, and they can make cartels, they can make collusions, and then they act like a monopolistic firm, and they charge prices which is greater than marginal cost. So they maximize their profit by forming cartels and charging higher price, and they act like a monopolistic firm. And then we have discussed about if oligopolistic make decisions about production levels individually, so the result is greater quantity and a lower price than under the monopoly outcome. Then we've also learned about the prisoner's dilemma, and that shows that the self-interest can prevent people from maintaining cooperation even when cooperation is in their mutual interest. So what we learn in prisoner dilemma, हमने ये सीखा कि because of their self-interest it prevent the firms or the individuals to cooperate with each other and act like a monopolistic firm. Even they know that if they cooperate, it is in the beneficial of both of the firms or both of the individuals, but their self-interest prevent them to cooperate with each other. Now, and then the logic of prisoner dilemma applies in many situations. As we have done last time, we can apply this in oligopolistic market structure as well. In the last we said that policymakers normally use antitrust law to prevent oligopolies from engaging in behavior that reduce competition. As we know that in an oligopoly market structure, since there are few firms in the industry, so they charge higher prices. The price is greater than marginal cost. Of course, the price charged by an oligopolistic firm is less than the price charged by the monopolistic firm, but even then the price charged by an oligopolistic firm is greater than the price charged by the firm in a perfectly competitive market. So there is a deadweight loss in case of oligopoly, but that deadweight loss is less as compared to monopoly, right? So this is called a normal deadweight loss to the society. So sometimes government or the policy makers introduce different antitrust laws to control the monopoly oligopolies, and then try to protect the consumers in the country. But we've also learned that sometimes antitrust laws basically prohibit some of the business practices which are very useful for the individual, useful for the economy of the country, right? So we have given an example last time, like we have talked about resale price maintenance, and then we've talked about predatory prices and tying. So these are the concepts, these are the business practices in which sometime government or policymaker use antitrust laws to control these practices. But as economist point of view, these practices are good for the individual, good for the economy, good for the firms. Now this was the overview of the previous lecture. और यहाँ पे एक और एडिशन करूँगा स्टूडेंट्स से हम सो वी आर गोइंग टू फिनिश वी हैव फिनिश्ड आवर फर्स्ट पार्ट ऑफ बिजनेस इकोनॉमिक्स कोर्स। हम यहाँ पे हम फर्स्ट पार्ट को ख़त्म करते हैं और इख्तिताम करते हैं, और जो कि दैट वाज अबाउट द माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स, माइक्रो पार्ट, right? So we have learned about almost all micro concepts. Since microeconomics deal with the individual households and firms, so we have talked about how consumer maximizes their satisfaction. We have learned about the consumer theory. We talked about the demand and supply. We have talked about the market structures. So we end up here with our first part of the course, that was the micro part. So we start our today's lecture with the basic concepts of national income or GDP, and the measures of income. That is the first part of macroeconomics. Now what we are going to learn today, about the economy, income and expenditure, right? The measurement of gross domestic product, how we measure GDP of a country, then what are the components of GDP, and then we'll try to discuss the difference between real and nominal GDP, and in the end of the lecture we would see that what is the relationship between gross domestic product and economic well-being of the people of the country, right? So this is the sequence of the lecture, today's lecture. So we start our today's lecture from the point where we would like to differentiate between the micro and macroeconomics. So as we have said that microeconomics is the study of how individual households and firms make decisions and how they interact with one another in markets. So we learn about the households, about the individuals, about the firms. जैसा कि आपने देखा होगा पिछले 12 लेक्चर्स में हमने माइक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स के बारे में बात की, the concept of markets, the concept of supply and demand, concept of consumer theory, and different market structures. So all these issues or concepts deal with the microeconomics. Now, since 2 days we are going to start the second part of the course, which is macroeconomics. So we would like to define what is macroeconomics is all about. So macroeconomics is the study of economy as a whole. So when we talk about economy as a whole, so then it means we are discussing or we are talking about the macroeconomics. Now its goal is to explain the economic changes that affect many households, firms and markets and economy as a whole. Suppose if we talk about the unemployment issue, if we talk about the inflation issue, if we talk about the labor force participation rate, if we talk about the trade, so all these phenomena, if we talk about poverty and growth of a country, so all these concepts are under the macroeconomics. Now macroeconomics basically answer questions like the following. Like for example, if we said that what is the average income, income, whether it is high or low in some countries, so we compare the average income or the GDP of different countries. So that is the question, one of the questions that macroeconomics give us the answer. Now why do prices rise rapidly in some time periods while they are some more stable in other periods? So sometime if we see that prices are rising, sometimes prices are going down, sometimes they are stable. So these are the questions, so we can look the answer from the macroeconomics. इसके बाद जब हम बात करते हैं why do production and employment expand sometime, हम sometime देखते हैं इकोनॉमी में प्रोडक्शन बढ़ रही होती है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ रही होती है, एंड sometime ऐसा कुछ टाइम ऐसा आता है इकोनॉमी में जब प्रोडक्शन कम होती है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट कम होती है, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ जाती है. तो all these questions are the scope of macroeconomics. So when we address these questions, when we ask these questions like what is the unemployment, productivity की बात करते हैं, growth की बात करते हैं, trade की बात करते हैं, ह्यूमन कैपिटल की बात करते हैं, एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं, लिविंग स्टैंडर्ड की बात करते हैं. सो ऑल दीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स फॉल अंडर द स्कोप ऑफ मैक्रोइकोनॉमिक्स. तो आज के बाद जितने भी हम चीज़ें पढ़ेंगे, जितने कॉन्सेप्ट हम सीखेंगे, तो विल टॉक अबाउट मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स. Now we'll try to explain how we measure the income of an economy or GDP. So we start with the concept of economy, income and expenditure. So when judging whether the economy is doing well or poorly, it is natural to look at the total income of a country that everyone in the economy is earning, as well as look at the expenditure of the individuals which they are basically bearing on different goods and services. Now for an economy as a whole, income must be equal to expenditure. Why? Because every transaction has a buyer and a seller. So whenever we make a transaction, जब भी seller चीज़ें market में supply करते हैं, बेचते हैं, तो there is a buyer of each and every product, right? So income becomes expenditure at the individual level as well as at the economy level. So when we talk about the income, so that income is going to become expenditure on the other side. Every dollar of spending by some buyer is a dollar of income for some seller, right? So whenever some seller is spending something, right, so that will become the expenditure of the buyer. So we can say that as economy as a whole, income must be equal to the expenditure at the national level. And now we'll try to explain how income can become an expenditure in the economy. So we try to define first the GDP. What is GDP? Gross domestic product. GDP is the gross domestic product of a country. It is a measure of income and expenditure of an economy, and we can define GDP as it is the market value of all final goods and services produced in a country during a specific time period which is normally a year. तो इस डेफिनेशन पे डिटेल में बाद में बात करते हैं. उससे पहले हम देखते हैं कि किस तरह इनकम जो है एक्सपेंडिचर के बराबर होती है. एज वी सेड दैट इन इकोनॉमी एज ए होल इनकम जो है एक्सपेंडिचर के बराबर होती है. तो इस चीज़ को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए, जैसा कि हमने चैप्टर 2 में देखा, वी हैव ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन द सर्कुलर फ्लो ऑफ इनकम. तो उसी तरह यहाँ पे उसी सर्कुलर फ्लो को दोबारा हम डिस्कस करेंगे. वी विल ट्राई टू सी दैट हाउ द इनकम कैन बिकम एक्सपेंडिचर इन द इकोनॉमी. अगर आप देखें, इफ़ यू लुक इन दिस circular flow or in this chart, we have four four items. On the left hand side we have firms, right? Now firms क्या करती हैं? They produce products and sell those products or goods and services, and then they provide rewards to different factors of production. On the right side we have household in this chart. Household क्या करते हैं? Basically they buy goods and consume goods, and moreover they supply factors of production to the firms and to produce goods and services. On the top we have markets of goods and services, on the bottom we have market for factors of production. Now how this circular flow works? So we start from that household basically provide factors of production to the market of the factors of production, and then firms purchase or buy factors of production from the market of factors of production, and then use these factors of production to produce goods and services, and then supply these goods and services to the goods market, right? Now when the goods comes to the goods market, now households or the individuals or the consumer buy goods from this goods market. Now when household have provided services in the form of factors of production to the firms, what the firms basically do, firms provide rewards in the form of wage to the labor, in the form of interest to the capital, rent to the building, so to the household, and this will become the income of the household. And then that income, when they are received by the household, they spend this income to buy goods and services from the goods market. That will become spending, and when they consume their income, that will become the revenue of the firm. So we have seen in this circular flow that on one side we are basically earning income, households are earning income by supplying their factors of production, and on the other side that income is spent on buying different goods and services. तो वो जो income है, जो expenses हैं household के, वो revenue बन जाता है for the firms. So this is how the economy works. on one side we have income, on the other side we have expenditure. So all of the income which is earned by the factors of production become the expenditure and revenue of the firm on the other side. So we can say that when we talk about economy as a whole, so we can say that income is always equal to expenditures in the economy. Now we look at the definition of the gross domestic product, the components of definition of the gross domestic product. So what was how we defined GDP? We said that GDP is the market value of all final goods and services produced in a country during a specific time period, which is normally known as a year, right? So we look at the words which we have used in this definition. Suppose we have said that GDP is the market value. When we say the market value, what it means? It means that we calculate the value of market value of each product. Now how we can do that? How we can calculate the market value? As we know that when we multiply the quantity with the price of the product, we can get the market value of a product. Suppose if certain firm is producing 100,000 of a product, 1,000 of a certain product. So if the price of a product is 20, so we multiply 20 with 1,000, will get the market value of that particular product, right? So if we multiply the quantity with the price, will get the market values. The second word which we have used in this definition is it is the market value of all final goods. All means all goods and services which are produced, which have been produced in the country during the time period which is normally a year. तो जितनी भी चीज़ें पैदा हुई हैं, जितनी भी सर्विसेज प्रोड्यूस हुई हैं, उन सब को जो है हम इसमें शामिल करेंगे जब हम GDP कैलकुलेट करेंगे. When we said about final, what we mean by final? We records only the value of final goods, not the intermediate goods. So if we count the value of intermediate goods in calculating the GDP, तो this will become a double counting. इसके एग्जाम्पल हम ऐसे लेते हैं कि जैसे suppose if we talk about flour is the final product which is used to make bread, right? So in flour, if we include the cost of wheat and other things, so that would make it double counting, right? So we include the cost of final product which is flour while calculating the GDP. So this is what we mean by final. So what we have used another words, goods and services. It is the GDP is the market value of all goods and services. As far as goods is concerned, it is the tangible goods, like when we talk about food, when we talk about clothing, when we talk about cars. So these are the goods. So we take the market value of all these tangible goods like food, clothing and cars. We also include in GDP the intangible services like haircuts, household learning, as well as household cleaning and doctor services. We also includes the intangible services, the market value of these services in calculating the GDP. So in GDP we include both goods and services, both tangible and intangible goods and services in calculating GDP. So this is what we mean by when we say goods and services. So we said that GDP is the market value of all final goods and services which are produced in that particular time period. So we include only those goods which are produced in that particular time period when we are calculating GDP. Suppose if we talk about General Motors, when they produce a car, so we include it while we are calculating or measuring GDP. But after 1 year, when this car become old and we are calculating GDP for that particular year, तो वो जो पुरानी कार है उसको हम GDP में शामिल नहीं करेंगे. So we include only those goods and services which are produced in that particular time period. Now we have also said that within a country, now it measures the value of production within the geographic confines of a country. The goods and services which are produced in the economy in a country, not outside the country, right? GDP measures only those goods which are produced and supplied within the country. And the final thing which we have talked about in the definition was in a given time period. So when we talk about a given time period, it measures the value of production that takes place within a specific time period, which is normally is a year or a quarter, which is a quarter within bracket 3 months. Quarter is measured taken after 3 months. So we can say that GDP is the market value. So we have defined the market value of all final goods, so all goods and services produced in the country, and then we said that final goods, not the intermediate goods. So we include the production of final goods in the production process. And then we said that market value of all final goods and services, both, not only goods that are tangible like food, clothing, and then intangible goods, services like haircuts, house cleaning, as well as services of the doctors, lawyers. All these services are also included in calculating GDP. So we have also talked about the things which are produced in that period. We include only those goods, and then we've also defined the boundaries, and then GDP is calculated within the country, not outside the country. And then as well as we have talked about the time period. Now the time period normally which is used for calculating GDP is a year or a quarter, which is comprised of 3 months. So GDP is the market value of all goods and services produced in a country, produced in or within a country during a specific time period, which is normally a year or a quarter. Now we'll talk about the components of GDP. GDP includes all items produced in the economy and sold legally in the markets. So that is what we can say that about GDP. Now what is not counted in GDP? GDP excludes most items that are produced and consumed at home and that never enter the marketplace. Like for example, if we produce vegetable at home instead in our garden instead of buying vegetable from the market, so that is not counted or included in GDP. Similarly, it also excludes the items produced and sold illicitly, such as illegal drugs. Like the drugs which are illegally produced and sold in the market, GDP excludes those goods and services from the GDP. Now we'll talk about the components of GDP. Now the components of GDP are as under. Number one, the first component of GDP is the consumption. The second component of GDP is investment, and the third component of GDP is government purchases, and the last component of GDP is net export. So we do not denote consumption by C, we denote investment by I, we denote government spending by G, and net export by NX. Now GDP has 4 components, that is consumption, investment, government spending, and net export. We'll explain these components of GDP one by one. So when we talk about consumption, so the spending by household on goods and services with the exception of purchases of new houses. So we don't include no new houses, but all other spending of household on goods and services is known as the consumption. No, consumption can also include both durable and non-durable goods. So when we spend something on durable goods, like we buy a car, refrigerators, all these examples of durable goods. And consumption is also on non-durable items, like consumption on food, clothing. So all these are the items which we talk about, non-durable items. Consumption. So consumption includes spending of household on both durable and non-durable goods and services, with the exception of purchases of new housing. And second component of GDP is investment. Now investment, it is the spending on capital equipment, inventories, and structures, including new housing. right? So if you spend on capital, like if you buy new technology, new machinery, जब आप खरीदते हैं अपने फर्म के लिए, right, तो उसको हम इन्वेस्टमेंट का नाम देते हैं. इसी तरह इन्वेंट्रीज की जब आप बात करते हैं तो दैट आल्सो कम्स अंडर इन्वेस्टमेंट. व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट स्ट्रक्चर्स, इट आल्सो कम्स अंडर इन्वेस्टमेंट. इसी तरह जब आप न्यू हाउसिंग की बात करते हैं तो दैट कम्स अंडर इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो ऑल दीज स्पेंडिंग एक्सपेंडिचर्स आर known as the investment, and investment is one of the component of GDP. The third component of GDP is government spending. The spending on goods and services by local, state and federal governments is the government spending. It does not include, when we talk about government spending, it does not include transfer payments. Now what are the transfer payment? The payment to the retired people. The government if give some money or some pension to the retired people, so that is not included in the calculation of GDP because they are not made in exchange for currently produced goods and services, right? So all government spending, whether it is the local government, it is the provincial government or the federal government, as we know that government has two kinds of expenditure. One is the development expenditure, the other is non-development expenditure. Now what are the development expenditure? The spending on different development projects is known as the development is known as the public expenditure. For example, if government spend money on building roads, if government spend building on new schools, if government spend building on for example building new buildings, and televisions, spend on telecommunications, right? So any spending on the development sides is known as the public expenditure. And government also has non-public spendings, like all government expenditure on salaries are known as the expenditure of different official houses and different officials expenditures. Like president house, like prime minister house, जब हम बात करते हैं तो इनकी जो expenditure है, all these are the non-development expenditure, right? So government, all sort of government spending, whether it is development expenditure or non-development expenditure, चाहे हम development expenditure की बात करते हैं या non-development expenditure की बात करते हैं, तो दोनों तरह के जो expenditures हैं ये government की spending होती हैं. And what it does not include in government spending, we don't include the transfer payment. ट्रांसफर पेमेंट हम शामिल नहीं करते because they are not made in exchange for currently produced goods and services in the economy. The last component, the fourth component of GDP is the net export. Now how we calculate the net export? It is the difference between exports minus imports. जब आप export से imports निकालते हैं उनका जो difference है, that is known as the net exports of the country. अगर आप नीचे वाले डायग्राम में देखें, इसमें हमने कोशिश की है आपको दिखाने की कि what is the contribution of each of the component. Just we talked about consumption, investment and government spending and net export in GDP growth. So you can see that, so we have consumption in different years. अगर आप देखें, so we have legend consumption with different colors, and similarly total investment and net export as well. So we have shown the components of GDP in different years. Just for an example, अगर हम बात करें in year 2003, 2002, 2003, and then if we talk about year 2009 and 10, so we can see that the consumption is a major part, and then the second is the investment, and then we talk about the net export also is the very small part in the GDP. So इस ग्राफ के ज़रिए हमने बताने की कोशिश की है कि GDP में कितना हिस्सा कंजम्पशन का होता है, how much is the part of investment, how much is the part of net export की जब हम बात करते हैं, तो आपको नज़र आया होगा कि मैक्सिमम पोर्शन इन GDP इज दी स्पेंडिंग, वेदर इट इज गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग की बात करते हैं या इंडिविजुअल कंजम्पशन की बात करते हैं. तो कंजम्पशन में हम दोनों कंजम्पशन को शामिल कर रहे हैं. तो दिस जो कंजम्पशन का जो पार्ट है, ये जो ब्लैक पार्ट है, इस चार्ट का, एंड दैट इज कंजम्पशन ऑफ इंडिविजुअल एज वेल एज गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग। तो दो कंपोनेंट को इसमें शामिल किया गया है, और जो ग्रे कलर में जो आपको नजर आ रहा है दैट इज द टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट, एंड द रिमेनिंग स्मॉल दिस लाइट ब्लैक कलर शेडेड एरिया जो है, सो दैट इज द इन्वेस्टमेंट। तो अगर आप देखें in 2009 and 10, so most of the income or the GDP is spent on consumption, whether it is individual or government spending, and very small part is on invested, and अगर आप देखें तो आपको you cannot see the negative, you cannot see the net export. This shows that maybe we have negative and net export or trade balance. The difference between export and imports is in minus. It means that we have more imports and less exports. So this is how we can explain the components of GDP. So what we said that GDP has 4 components: consumption, investment, government spending and net export. इन चारों को अगर आप जमा कर लें तो you can get the GDP of a country. Now we'll try to answer, we'll try to differentiate between the two concepts जो कि आप economics में अक्सर आपको सुनने को मिलेंगे और आगे जिनकी हम बात करेंगे, and that are real and nominal GDP. How we can differentiate between these two concepts, that is the difference between real and nominal GDP. Nominal GDP values the production of goods and services at current market prices. Real GDP values the production of goods and services at a constant prices. Like अगर हम बात करते हैं, suppose if we are calculating the real GDP in 2010 and if we take the prices of 2002 as a base year as a constant prices to calculate the GDP in 2010, so that would be real GDP. And if we calculate GDP at the current market prices or the prices of in 2010, so that would be the nominal GDP. So हम कैसे एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं इस डिफरेंस को, कि हम कहते हैं कि जब हम जीडीपी कैलकुलेट करते हैं करंट मार्केट प्राइसेस पे तो दैट इज द नॉमिनल जीडीपी, और जब हम जीडीपी निकालते हैं एट द कांस्टेंट प्राइसेस और एट द बेस ईयर प्राइसेस, इट मींस दैट काइंड ऑफ जीडीपी इज नोन एज द रियल जीडीपी. Now, an accurate view of the economy requires adjusting nominal to real GDP by using the GDP deflator. How government or economies can adjust the nominal GDP to the real GDP, and they can do these adjustment by using the GDP deflator. अभी थोड़ी देर में हम GDP deflator की बात करेंगे कि GDP deflator क्या है. It is the ratio of nominal GDP to the real GDP, and if we multiply that ratio with 100 we'll get the GDP deflator. And economies or the countries use GDP deflator as one of the measure of inflation. So we'll try to explain all these 3 concepts like real GDP, nominal GDP and GDP deflator, how we can calculate nominal, real and GDP deflator, and this can be explained with the help of the table जो कि आपको सामने नजर आ रहा है. इस टेबल में देखें, we have 5 different columns and 4 rows. In the first column we have year, and we have taken the example of 2001, 2 and 3. In the second column we have a price of good A. In the third column we have quantity of good A, and in the fourth column we have price of good B, and in the fifth column we have the quantity of good B. So इस टेबल में क्या चीज हमारे पास है, we have 3 years for which we are supposed to calculate nominal and real GDP, and then we have 2 goods which are produced in the economy. So we have just considered 2 goods which are produced in the economy just for simplicity to explain it to you, just सिर्फ आपको बताने के लिए कि जीडीपी कैसे निकाल सकते हैं. तो हमने 2 चीज़ों की मिसाल ली है, सिर्फ 2 चीज़ें शामिल की हैं, और दोनों चीज़ों की प्राइसेस भी ली हैं डिफरेंट ईयर्स में, और दोनों चीज़ों की डिफरेंट क्वांटिटी प्रोड्यूस्ड भी ली है। तो अभी हम आपको दिखाएंगे, बताएंगे कि कैसे आप नॉमिनल जीडीपी इस टेबल से निकाल सकते हैं, कैसे आप रियल जीडीपी निकाल सकते हैं, एंड हाउ यू कैन कैलकुलेट द जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर बाय यूजिंग दिस टेबल। नाउ how we can calculate nominal GDP for different years. If we talk about first we take year 2001. So since we have two products, two goods, good 1 and good 2, good B, so the price of good 1 in year 2001 is 1. So we can first take the market value of good A, and that can be calculated as price into quantity. So price is 1, quantity produced is 2, is 100. So 1 into 100 plus second good, good B, and its price को अगर आप multiply कर दें, that is 2 into 50. So as we know that GDP is the market value of all goods and services produced in the economy. Since here in this example we are producing two goods, good A and good B, right? So GDP किस चीज के बराबर होगी? Nominal GDP, that would be equal to the price, market value of good A, market value of good A plus market value of good B. Now what is the market value of good A? That is price of good A into quantity of good A produced, which is 100, plus price of good B, which is 2, quantity produced in year 2001 is 50, 100 plus 50, that is equal to 150, that is equal to, sorry, this will become 100, not 50, 50 into 100, 2 is 100, so 100 plus 100, that is equal to 200 US dollar is the nominal GDP in year 2001. Similarly, we can calculate the nominal GDP in year 2002. And how we can do that? Just multiply the price of good A in that particular year with its quantity produced, that is 2 into 150, plus price of good B, which is 3 in that year, into 100. So this is equal to 600, because as we know that a nominal GDP is measured or calculated at the current prices. So we are using the prices of each year to calculate GDP. Similarly, you can calculate the GDP, nominal GDP for year 2003. वो कैसे निकाल सकते हैं आप? अब देखें इसमें प्राइस कितनी है। पिछले टेबल में जैसा कि हमने देखा कि तीसरे साल में गुड ए की प्राइस 3 है और क्वांटिटी जो प्रोड्यूस हो रही है वो 200 है, तो 3 into 200 प्लस गुड बी की जो प्राइस है विच दैट इज 4 इन दिस ईयर, और क्वांटिटी प्रोड्यूस कितनी है 150, तो 4 into 150. सो इफ यू सिंप्लीफाई दिस, 3 into 200 that is 600 plus 4 into 150 that is 400, that is almost 600. So 600 plus 600 is equal to 1200. So this is how you can calculate the nominal GDP. So if you take the market value of all goods and services produced in that country during that time period and you use the current prices, so that would be the nominal GDP. Now as we talked about the GDP deflator, what is that? The GDP deflator is a measure of the price level as we talked about, and it is calculated as the ratio of nominal GDP to the real GDP. It tells us the rise in nominal GDP that is attributable to the rise in prices rather than a rise in the quantity produced. तो जब हम बात करते हैं rise in nominal GDP की, so that rise is due to the rise in prices, not due to the rise in quantity produced, because GDP, nominal GDP जो है that is measured on the current prices. अगर prices बढ़ रही हैं तो हम कह सकते हैं कि nominal GDP बढ़ जाएगी. Now how we can calculate GDP deflator from the previous example. So we know that GDP deflator is equal to nominal GDP divided by real GDP into 100. Now what is for calculating GDP deflator, we need to calculate first real GDP. Now how we can do that? Real GDP is equal to that nominal GDP in that of that particular year divided by GDP deflator into 100. So that would be the real GDP of that particular year. वो हम कैसे निकाल सकते हैं? So we can do that. For example, if we would like to calculate the real GDP of 2003, so and we would like to use the prices of year 2003. Real GDP निकालते हैं हम 2003 की, जस्ट आपको सिखाने के लिए. Real GDP in the year 2003 will be equal by using the prices of year 2001. तो कैसे निकालेंगे? इसमें हम क्या करेंगे, प्राइसेस हम 2001 की लेंगे, क्वांटिटीज जो प्रोड्यूस्ड है दोनों चीज़ों की वो हम 2003 की लेंगे. तो हम देखते हैं, अगर आप पिछले टेबल में देखें, जो 2003 में गुड ए की क्वांटिटी कितनी प्रोड्यूस हो रही है, 200, और प्राइस हमारी 200 2001 में क्या थी इस गुड की, 1. सो वी मल्टीप्लाई 1 with 2. So we multiplied with the price of 2001, which is the base year, and the quantity which is produced in 2003, plus price of good B in base year, that is $2, and the quantity produced in year 2003 is 150. So we multiply 2 with 150. So if we simplify this, 200 200 जमा 300, so हमारे पास जो real GDP आएगी 2003 की, that would be 500. So if we compare, the nominal GDP in 2003 was $1,200. The real GDP, the actual GDP, if you take prices constant, so that is 500. Now normally the concept of real GDP is used to measure the growth or the change in GDP over time, right? So that's why we take the constant prices to measure GDP in the subsequent or the current years. जब आप चाहते हैं, आप measure करना चाहते हैं कि GDP में कितनी change आई over the time, मुख्तलिफ सालों में कितनी तब्दीली आई, कितनी growth rate हुई GDP की, तो then we use the concept of real GDP. और इन दोनों चीज़ों को यूज़ करके आप GDP deflator निकाल सकते हैं, and that is equal to the nominal GDP over real GDP into 100. And economists use the concept of GDP deflator to measure the inflation or the rise in general price level in the economy. So as we know that, आगे जाके हम बात करेंगे inflation में, जब हम पढ़ेंगे तो हम देखेंगे कि there are different measures which can be used to measure the inflation in the economy. Like one of the important measure of inflation is consumer price index. So similarly, economists or people or individual can use GDP deflator to measure the inflation in the country. Now we are going to talk about how GDP is useful for the well-being of individuals in the country. GDP, so we'll talk about GDP and economic well-being of the society, well-being of the individuals in the economy in the country. Now GDP is the best single measure of economic well-being of a society. So we can say that अगर हम कहते हैं कि किसी मुल्क की GDP बढ़ रही है, there is increase in the growth rate of GDP, तो हम कहते हैं कि उस मुल्क की इनकम बढ़ रही है. जब इनकम बढ़ती है तो गवर्नमेंट try to spend more on the welfare of the society, like they can spend more on education, they can spend more money to reduce poverty, they can spend more to increase the employment in the country. So overall they can spend more in investment, more on exports, production of export. So whenever we say that GDP is rising, the growth rate of GDP is increasing in the country, so we can say that the economic well-being of the society is improving. So we can say that GDP is the best single measure of the economic well-being of a society. However, there is another concept which is known as the GDP per person, GDP per capita, and that tells us the income and the expenditure of the average person in the economy. So higher the GDP per person indicates higher the standard of living. So जितनी per capita income ज़्यादा होगी, जितनी GDP per person ज़्यादा होगी, उतनी जो standard of living है लोगों की वो ज़्यादा होगी. So with the higher per capita income, with the higher GDP per person, individuals, household can spend more, they can buy more of goods. So ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा गाड़ियाँ खरीद लेते हैं, रेफ्रिजरेटर खरीद लेंगे, so they buy more luxuries, so their standard of living will improve. So GDP, so if we take into consideration GDP per person or per capita income of an individual, so then we can say that GDP is not only a perfect measure of the happiness or quality of life, because something that contributes to the well-being are not included in the GDP. जैसा कि हमने पीछे भी बात की कि बहुत सारी अशिया ऐसी हैं कि जो कि इंडिविजुअल और सोसाइटी की वेलफेयर को प्रमोट करती हैं, बढ़ाती हैं, लेकिन हम उनको GDP में शामिल नहीं करते. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द वैल्यू ऑफ लेयर दैट इज गुड फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द सोसाइटी, द वैल्यू ऑफ ए क्लीन एनवायरनमेंट दैट improve the society's welfare. But when we calculate GDP, we don't include its value. The value of almost of all activity that take place outside of the market, such as the value of the time spent at home or spent with parents, with children, and the value of volunteer work. So all these sort of activities, the value of all these activities is not included in GDP. तो हम कह सकते हैं कि GDP जब इन चीज़ों को शामिल नहीं करती तो it is not a perfect measure of the happiness or quality of life. लेकिन however जब GDP किसी मुल्क की बढ़ती है, GDP is an important tool to measure the standard of living or the well-being of society. जब हम कहते हैं कि किसी मुल्क में GDP बढ़ रही है, उसकी ग्रोथ ज़्यादा हो रही है, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट कैन पे more attention to improve the welfare or to improve the clean environment of the society. They can spend more income on education, they spend more income on roads, communications, and all activities which promote welfare of the society. So we can say that GDP जो है एक important tool है, important concept है. जब हम macroeconomics की बात करते हैं, we will always talk about, we always say something about GDP कि GDP एक ऐसा tool है, एक ऐसा parameter है जो कि हमें बताता है कि इस मुल्क में कितनी growth हो रही है, how much is the income of the household, how much is the income of the country, और economy किस तरफ जा रही है, economy grow कर रही है या नहीं कर रही. तो GDP जो है एक important tool है. Even then, if we know that some of the values, some of the concepts are not included in GDP, but however GDP is a very important tool, एक important parameter है एक economy का. अगर आपने देखना है, if you want to compare different economies, different countries, how they are growing, so you compare. As economists, normally we compare the GDP of different countries, and we can say that the country with higher GDP, they are spending higher or more on education, on different economic activities of the nation. And the countries which has lower GDP, which have lower GDP, they spend less on economic activities of the countries. So we'll move to the last part of the lecture, today's lecture, that is the measures of income. So here we'll talk about different measure of national income. Suppose first measure of income is the national income. Now national income represents the total income produced or received by labor, capital and land. So it is constructed by subtracting the depreciation and indirect taxes from GDP. अगर आप जीडीपी में से डेप्रिसिएशन को निकाल देते हैं और इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस को निकाल देते हैं, सो दैट विल गिव अस नेशनल इनकम. सो इट कैन बी कैलकुलेटेड एज नेशनल इनकम इज इक्वल टू डब्ल्यू प्लस आर प्लस आई प्लस पी आर. सो वेयर NI stands for national income, W is the labor income, R is the rental income, I is the interest income, and finally PR is the profit. So we can say that national income of a country, of a nation, can be measured as W plus R plus I plus PR. In other words, you can, when you subtract depreciation and indirect taxes from GDP, so that will also give you the gross domestic product, that will also give you the national income of a country. And now second measure of income is the net domestic product, net domestic income. Now NDP equals the total final output produced within a nation during a year, where output includes net investment or gross investment less depreciation. So when you only exclude depreciation from GDP or subtract करते हैं जब GDP से depreciation को, so that will give you the net domestic product. So NDP is equal to GDP minus depreciation. तो दोनों में फ़र्क क्या हुआ नेशनल इनकम और NDP में? हमने देखा कि नेशनल इनकम में से आप दो चीज़ें निकालते हैं. एक आप सब GDP नेशनल इनकम निकालने के लिए GDP में से दो चीज़ों को माइनस किया जाता है, सब्ट्रैक्ट किया जाता है. वन इज़ दी डेप्रिसिएशन, द अदर इज़ indirect taxes. But when you calculate NDP, net domestic product, so then we subtract only depreciation from GDP. So this is the difference between national income and net domestic product. So next is the net national product. So how we can do that, how we can calculate that? Net national NNP is equal to GNP minus depreciation. तो यहाँ पे जब आप नेट नेशनल प्रोडक्ट निकालते हैं तो यहाँ पे हम जीएनपी की बात करेंगे, नॉट जीडीपी की. जब हमने नेशनल इनकम निकाली, जब हमने नेट डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट निकाली, तो हमने कहा कि अगर जीडीपी में से आप डेप्रिसिएशन निकाल देते हैं तो दैट विल गिव अस द नेट डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट. एंड व्हेन वी आर इंटरेस्टेड टू कैलकुलेट नेट नेशनल प्रोडक्ट, किसी एक पूरी कौम की एट नेशनल लेवल पे अगर हम इनकम निकालना चाहते हैं तो उस वक्त हम जीएनपी से डेप्रिसिएशन को माइनस करेंगे. अब जीएनपी और जीडीपी में क्या फर्क है? जीडीपी इज द ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट ऑफ ऑल गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोड्यूस्ड विद इन द कंट्री, एंड जीएनपी इंक्लूड्स द गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज प्रोड्यूस्ड विद इन द कंट्री एज वेल एज गुड्स प्रोड्यूस्ड आउटसाइड द कंट्री ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल्स ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर कंट्री. तो जिसमें हम फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट की भी बात करेंगे. जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं, पाकिस्तानी इन्वेस्टर जो फॉरेन में प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं चीज़ों को, तो उनको भी हम इसमें शामिल करते हैं. सो जब आप इंटरेस्टेड हैं एनएनपी में, नेशनल नेट प्रोडक्ट निकालने में, तो एनएनपी इज इक्वल टू जीएनपी माइनस डेप्रिसिएशन. एंड द लास्ट टू फैक्टर्स जिसकी हम अभी बात करेंगे, दैट दोज आर the personal income and disposable income. Now personal income is the total income received by the individuals of a country from all sources prior to direct taxes in 1 year. तो जब हम personal income की बात करते हैं तो personal income is about the individual. एक इंडिविजुअल किसी कंट्री में जितनी भी इनकम कमाता है फ्रॉम ऑल सोर्सेज, अगर आप उसको जमा कर लेते हैं तो दैट इज नोन एज द पर्सनल इनकम, एंड इट इज बिफोर पेइंग डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, एंड द ईयर एंड टाइम पीरियड नॉर्मली इज ए ईयर. नाउ व्हाट इज डिस्पोजेबल इनकम? It is a personal or the personal disposable income. So it refers to the actual income which can be spent on consumption by the individual and the family. And how we can calculate the disposable consumption? If you subtract the direct taxes from personal income, you will get the disposable personal income. So the difference between personal income and disposable personal income is that Personal income is the income of the individuals of a country from all sources, and prior to the direct taxes in one particular year. But disposable personal income जो है, that is after subtracting the direct taxes from personal income. So this is the difference between these two measures. तो हमने but we have discussed almost 4-5 different measures of a nation income. अगर आपने किसी nation की income measure करनी है तो different measures को measure करना पड़ता है. So this is all about today's lecture. So we'll try to revise the concepts which we have learned in today's lecture. So we started to differentiate between the micro and macroeconomics, because we end up with the first part of the course जो कि माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स के बारे में था. तो ज़रूरी था कि आपको बताया जाए कि माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स और मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में क्या फ़र्क होता है, कौन सी चीज़ें हमने माइक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में कवर की और आगे मैक्रो इकोनॉमिक्स में हम क्या कवर करना चाहेंगे. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल we differentiated between the micro and macroeconomics because we started the second part of the course, which is macroeconomics. तो हमने कहा कि microeconomics is when we talk about the individual, household and firms, so that is microeconomics. When we talk about the macroeconomics, when we are talking about economy as a whole, तो we are talking about the macroeconomics. हमने बात की जब आप कहते हैं कि इन्फ्लेशन है मुल्क में, अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट है, पॉवर्टी है, ग्रोथ की बात करते हैं, all these issues or concepts are discussed in the scope of macroeconomics. उसके बाद हमने बात की what is GDP, GDP क्या चीज़ है और how we can measure GDP. तो हमने ये कहा GDP is the gross domestic product of is measured as it is the market value of all final goods and services produced in a country, within a country during a specific time period, which is normally a year or a quarter, and that quarter is comprised of 3 months. तो अगर आप इस definition में देखें, हमने बात की it is the market value. Market value की जब हम बात करते हैं तो how we calculate that, we multiply prices with the quantity of the product produced in that particular time period. So when we talk about final goods, so we include only those goods, production of only those goods which are finally produced. Like जिसकी example हमने बात की, suppose if we talk about flour, wheat की flour की बात जब हम करते हैं तो we don't include the price of wheat or the price of seed in the production in the calculation of GDP. So we only include the price of flour, which is the final product of wheat. And then we have talked about we include only those goods which are produced in that particular year. जैसे कि हमने एग्जांपल दी आपको कि अगर हमने बात की अगर जनरल मोटर्स वाले एक कार बनाते हैं उस पर्टिकुलर ईयर में, तो उस कार को तो हम शामिल करेंगे जीडीपी में, लेकिन 1 साल के बाद जब वो कार पुरानी हो जाती है तो नेक्स्ट ईयर में जब आप जीडीपी निकालेंगे तो दैट ओल्ड कार इज नॉट यूज्ड टू कैलकुलेट, इज नॉट यूज्ड व्हाइल कैलकुलेटिंग द जीडीपी. सो आफ्टर दैट हमने क्या सीखा, हमने बात की डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ जीडीपी की. हमने कहा कि देयर आर 4 कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ जीडीपी. 1 कंजम्पशन, देन सेकंड इज द इन्वेस्टमेंट, थर्ड इज द गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग, एंड द फोर्थ is the net export. So we have written the income identity, which is y is equal to c plus I plus g plus nx. Now this is known as the income identity or the national income identity, where y is the GDP and c is the consumption, I is the investment and g is the government spending, nx are the net export. तो हमने इन चारों को अलग-अलग एक्सप्लेन किया कि what we mean by consumption, इन्वेस्टमेंट, गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग एंड नेट एक्सपोर्ट. इन चारों को अगर आप जमा कर लेते हैं तो यू विल गेट द जीडीपी ऑफ ए कंट्री. उसके बाद हमने बात की हाउ टू कैलकुलेट एंड वी डिफरेंशिएटेड द रियल जीडीपी एंड द नॉमिनल जीडीपी. So nominal GDP is calculated at the current prices of the product, and real GDP is calculated at the constant prices. जिसको हमने एक एग्जांपल के ज़रिए एक्सप्लेन किया. हमने देखा कि अगर हम डिफरेंट ईयर्स की जीडीपी निकालते हैं और हर साल की प्रोडक्शन को उसकी करंट साल के प्राइसेस से मल्टीप्लाई करें तो आपके पास जो चीज़ आएगी दैट वुड बी नॉमिनल जीडीपी। और अगर आप किसी एक बेस ईयर की प्राइसेस लेते हैं और करंट ईयर की जो आप जीडीपी निकालते हो, प्रोडक्शन लेते हो, यानी सपोज इफ वी वांट टू कैलकुलेट द जीडीपी ऑफ ईयर 2011 और 2011 की आप प्रोडक्शन लेते हैं और प्राइसेस जो लेते हैं 2001 की लेते हैं, तो जब आप जीडीपी निकालते हो तो दैट जीडीपी वुड बी द रियल जीडीपी। सो द डिफरेंस बिटवीन नॉमिनल and real GDP is that nominal GDP is measured or calculated at the current prices and real GDP is calculated at the constant prices. And economists use the real GDP to calculate the growth of the economy because this tells us the change in GDP over time. How much is the change in GDP over time? क्योंकि आप constant और the base year की prices ले रहे हैं to measure the current year GDP. So जब आपने growth निकालनी हो GDP में, तो you will use the real GDP as the measure to calculate the growth in the gross domestic product. उसके बाद हमने बात की कि how GDP can contribute to प्रमोट द इकोनॉमिक वेल बीइंग ऑफ द सोसाइटी। तो हमने ये कहा कि जीडीपी एक ऐसा सिंगल मेजर है जिसको आप यूज़ कर सकते हैं टू मेजर द इकोनॉमिक वेल बीइंग ऑफ ए सोसाइटी। और हमने ये कहा कि जिन ममालिक में, जिन कंट्रीज़ की जीडीपी बढ़ रही होती है, दे स्पेंड मोर ऑन द वेलफेयर प्रोग्राम्स ऑफ द कंट्री, लाइक एजुकेशन पे ज़्यादा खर्च करते हैं, रोड्स पे ज़्यादा खर्च करते हैं, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सोसाइटी पे ज़्यादा खर्च करते हैं। तो ऑफ कोर्स व्हेन दे हैव मोर जीडीपी दे स्पेंड मोर एंड द इकोनॉमिक वेल बीइंग ऑफ द सोसाइटी विल इंक्रीज। बट हमने ये भी देखा कि जीडीपी में कुछ ऐसी चीज़ें जो शामिल नहीं की जाती जो कि वेलफेयर को तो इम्प्रूव करती हैं बट उनकी मार्केट वैल्यू, लाइक हमने इलीगल प्रोडक्ट्स की बात की, ब्लैक मार्केट की बात की, ड्रग्स की बात की, कुछ ऐसी सर्विसेज लाइक हमने लेयर की बात की, टाइम स्पेंड ऑन लेयर और पेरेंट्स और चिल्ड्रन के साथ बात की। तो इन चीज़ों को जीडीपी में शामिल नहीं किया जाता। तो फिर हमने बात की कि देयर इज़ एन अल्टरनेटिव वे to look at the economic well-being of society, and we said that for that purpose we have discussed the concept of GDP per person, जिसे हम per capita income भी कहते हैं। तो that is the income of an individual जो कि वो मुख्तलिफ सोर्सेज से एक साल में कमाता है। तो हम ये कहते हैं अगर GDP पर कैपिटा बढ़ रही है किसी कंट्री में लोगों की, तो उनके स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लिविंग भी इम्प्रूव होगा। तो स्टूडेंट्स, आज का लेक्चर यहाँ पे हम ख़त्म करेंगे। Till the next lecture, God bless you and Allah Hafiz.